Welcome to the first session on the series Points to Remember for Plus One Chemistry Examination. The objective behind these sessions are to bring all the important topics in the Plus One Chemistry syllabus in a very short time and find which types of questions students can expect in the final examination. In the first session, the essence of first four chapters will be discussed. Chapter 1, some basic concepts of chemistry. Chapter 2, structure of atom. Chapter 3, classification of elements and periodicity in properties. Chapter 4, chemical bonding and molecular structure. In chapter 1, some basic concepts of chemistry. Mainly 9 topics are important and they are nature of matter, properties and measurements, uncertainty in measurements, laws of chemical combinations, atomic theory, atomic and molecular masses, mole concept and molar masses, molecular and formula mass, calculation related to stoichiometry, and ways to represent concentration. Now we will go through each topic and point out the important points. First topic is nature of matter. In this topic, you have to study two different points. One, states of matter. Second, classification of matter. In states of matter, you should be able to differentiate different states of matter, and that differentiation should be based on shape, volume, and arrangement of molecules. In classification of matter, you should be able to classify matter based on number of components, and under this classification, mixtures and pure substances will come. Based on distribution of components in mixtures, where homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures will come. Classification of pure substances based on different types of atoms, and under this classification, elements and compounds will come. Next topic is properties, measurements, and uncertainty in measurement. Under this topic, first we have to learn 7 SI units for different physical quantities which are given here. Then numericals related to uncertainty in measurement, scientific figures, and operations related to measurement value. So the numerical session in this chapter starts with this topic. You should be able to define 5 different laws of chemical combinations. Law of conservation of mass, law of multiple proportion, law of definite proportions, Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volume, and Avogadro's law. Students are advised to understand these 5 laws with the help of examples. In case, if questions come in exam, you should write both definition and explanation of that law with the help of an example. The numericals related to determine molecular formula from percentage composition of each element. In stoichiometry calculations using the given equations, students will be asked to determine either mass of one reactant required to produce a certain mass of a product, or determine the mass of a product from the provided mass of other reagents. Students also should learn how to express concentration of solutions in terms of mass percentage or weight percentage, mole fraction, molarity, and molality. You can expect a small numericals from this session also. In last few years in public examination related to chapter 1, and the questions consist of definition of mass percentage, law of conservation of mass, then molar mass of a compound, and the numericals related to conversion of percentage composition to empirical and molecular formula, calculate the number of moles of a particular element required to produce a particular amount of product, conversion of mass into concentration terms such as molarity or molality, etc. Then few questions related to Again, the conversion of mass or percentage composition to empirical formula or molecular formula. Limiting reagent and numerical associated with the limiting reagent. Here we can see one example. 28 gram of nitrogen is mixed with 12 gram of hydrogen to form ammonia as per the reaction. Question is, which is the limiting reagent in this reaction? Difference between empirical formula and molecular formula, and in every year you can see that now this is the third question related to conversion of percentage of composition into empirical formula mass or empirical formula or molecular formula. Concept of mole and calculation of number of moles from the given amount of product. Calculate the amount of carbon dioxide formed by complete combustion of 80 gram of methane as per the reaction. Write the postulates of Dalton's atomic theory. So these are the few questions which came the last few years in public examination, mainly from chapter 1. Chapter 2 is structure of atom. In this chapter, first topic is about discovery of subatomic particles such as electrons, protons, neutrons. This includes who discovered these particles as well as through which experiment they found out the subatomic particles. You should learn the characteristics of subatomic particles such as charge to mass ratio, charge, mass of the particles in kilogram as well as in atomic mass unit. Mainly 3 types of atomic models you should learn. You should be able to discuss Thomson atomic model, which is also known as plum pudding model, and the drawbacks of this model. Also you should learn Rutherford's nuclear model of atom, and you should be able to discuss the scattering experiment that he performed as well as the drawbacks of this model. Under Bohr atom model, you should study the wave nature as well as Planck's quantum theory. You should be able to write the relationships between different characteristics of electromagnetic radiations such as frequency, wavelength, velocity, and energy of a radiation. Also, you should be able to solve numericals related to these relationships. Next topic is photoelectric effect. Before studying this, you should have idea about dual nature of electromagnetic radiation. Under this point, you should be able to solve numericals related to Planck's equation, definition of photoelectric effect and how it helps to understand the nature of electromagnetic radiation is also a very important point. By learning the line spectrum of hydrogen, we will be able to understand the quantized energy level in an atom, which helps us to understand Bohr model of atom. Under the Bohr atom model of hydrogen atom, one should be able to assign quantum numbers for a given electron. Reason behind the line spectrum of hydrogen. Also, we should be able to learn the limitations associated with Bohr atom model, mechanical model of the atom. Under this topic, you should learn 2 very important points. 1. Dual nature of matter. Then you should be able to write de Broglie equation and the terms associated with this equation. You should learn how to solve numericals related to this equation. Then second, Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Definition of Heisenberg uncertainty principle and numericals associated with these principles. These 2 points are very, very important under the quantum mechanical model of the atom. Next topic is hydrogen atom and Schrödinger equation. You should be able to write Schrödinger wave equation as well as the significance of this equation. The concepts of quantum numbers and orbitals also to be studied. shape of different orbitals and how to draw these structures are also very, very important. Now, if an atom or an ion is given, we should be able to write the orbital level electronic configuration. You should know how to fill electrons in each orbital using three different rules or principles such as Aufbau principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, and Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity. Orbital level electronic configuration of first 30 elements you should be able to write. Also, explain the reason behind the anomaly in the electronic configuration of two atoms, chromium and copper. You should also study the extra stability achieved by the half-filled and fully filled orbitals. In the last few years, questions were asked from chapter 2 are listed here. You can see numericals such as calculation of de Broglie wavelength, calculation of kinetic energy of an ejected electron during photoelectric effect, calculation of wave number of radiation resulted from electronic transition from one orbit to another, discussion about postulates of Bohr atom model and Rutherford atom model, about cathode rays, Pauli's exclusion principle and Hund's rule of maximum multiplicity, drawbacks of different atom models, then assigning quantum numbers of a given electron, then numericals associated with the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, electronic configuration rules, quantum numbers, photoelectric effect, and hydrogen spectra. These are the important topics from this chapter and that you can see from the list of questions which came in the last few years. Chapter 3, Classification of Elements and Periodicity in Properties. Why it is required to classify the elements and make periodic table? That is a major objective of this chapter. First, discuss about initial attempts which were made to classify elements. 3 initial attempts: law of triads, law of octaves, Mendeleev's periodic table, and you should be able to describe all these 3 attempts and their advantages and limitations. Next topic is modern periodic law and the present form of periodic table. So you should be able to know what is the basis for the classification of elements in modern periodic law. Features of periodic tables such as groups, periods, how the elements are arranged in these periods and groups, and after learning these features of periodic table, are you finding the study of elements as easy after learning periodic table? In modern periodic table, elements are arranged in periods and in groups. Based on the position of elements in groups, in modern periodic table, elements are arranged in S, P, D, F blocks. What is the basis of classification of elements in these blocks? Characteristics of these elements, and which are the important elements in all these blocks? Groups in the periodic table and their respective blocks. For example, alkali metal, which comes under S block elements. Halogens, which comes under P block elements. Similarly, major elements and their position in periodic table, whether they are in S, P, D, F block. This topic is also very, very important. Also, you should be able to tell where is the position of metals, metalloids and non-metals in periodic table. One example, alkali metals are on the left side of the periodic table. They come under first group. Non-metals such as halogens, they are at the right side of the periodic table. We know that they belong to 17th group. After learning the basics of periodic table, we should be able to see any trend is present in the periodic table. based on their properties. Periodic trends in physical properties and periodic trends in chemical properties. Both these topics are very important. How the properties of elements are changing across the period and down the groups. This you should have idea. How the properties are changing across the period and in the groups. Physical properties, atomic radius, ionic radius, ionization enthalpy, electronegativity and metallic character. All these 5 physical properties, how it will be changed across the period and in the groups in modern periodic table. Similarly, chemical properties such as valency, oxidation state, chemical reactivity, you should be able to say how the change in chemical properties happening across the period and in the groups. There are some anomalies in periodic tables, especially in second period elements. You should be able to tell which are the anomalies in periodic properties in the modern periodic table. Questions came in previous examinations from chapter 3 are listed below. Modern periodic law. Compare periodic properties such as atomic radius, ionization enthalpy, electron gain enthalpy, electronegativity of elements across the period and in the groups. Isoelectronic species, characteristics of transition elements, factors affecting the properties of elements or chemical species, and repeated questions related to the comparison of ionization energy, atomic radius, enthalpy of electron gain and ionization. Those type of questions regularly appear in all examinations. Chapter 4, Chemical Bonding and Molecular Structure. Why we should study chemical bonding and molecular structure of a compound. That is the essence of this chapter. First topic in this chapter is Koszal-Lewis approach to chemical bonding. Under this chapter, you should be able to draw Lewis symbols and you should be able to represent the bonds such as covalent bond using Lewis symbol. How the bonds are formed using Lewis symbols. And you should be able to represent simple molecules in the form of Lewis structures. 3 examples are given here: carbon dioxide, ethene, and nitrite ion. You have studied octet rule in your school. You should be able to identify the limitations of octet rule, such as some of the atoms in compounds do not show octet rule, such as lithium atom and boron atom in lithium chloride and boron trichloride respectively. In some compound or in some species, all atoms do not satisfy octet rule. The expanded octet, which will be seen mainly in the compound or complexes, where the bonding is done with the help of d orbital, inner d orbitals, especially in the complexes where transition metals are involved. Then in compounds such as xenon fluoride, krypton fluoride, in these compounds there is no octet rule. And shape of the molecules cannot be explained using octet rule, and octet rule cannot give any information about relative stability of molecules. Ionic or electrovalent bond. How ionic bond is formed with the help of an ionic compound explanation. The cation anion concept in ionic compound. Then you should be able to define what is lattice enthalpy in an ionic compound. Qualitative measure of the stability of an ionic compound is provided by its enthalpy of lattice formation. How? This is a very important question. You should be able to answer if this kind of questions comes in your exam. Bond parameters and the factors affecting these parameters. Example, bond length, bond angle, bond enthalpy, and bond order. In almost all public exams, at least one question is asked to determine bond order of compounds or species such as fluorine, carbon monoxide, nitrogen, etc. Similarly, another question which regularly comes in exam is bond enthalpy of OH bonds are different in water molecule. We know that water molecule contains two OH bond and their bond enthalpies are not same, they are different. Why? This answer also you should be able to write. Resonance structures. You have studied resonance structure in your school. The importance of resonance structure. Also, you should be able to write the Lewis structure of resonance structures of molecules. 3 examples are given here for ozone molecule, carbonate ion, and carbon dioxide molecule. Becomes polar. Very important question. You should be able to explain it with the help of few examples. Terms such as dipole moment. You should be able to define what is dipole moment in a molecule. Also, you should be able to calculate the dipole moment of molecules. Molecules may be diatomic or polyatomic. Questions like why water, ammonia, and boron trifluoride are polar and beryllium difluoride is non-polar. If these kind of questions come, then you should be able to write the answer with the help of their Lewis structures and explain why they show dipole moment in water, ammonia, and in boron trifluoride, why there is no or less dipole moment in beryllium difluoride. Valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, VSEPR theory, very important portion. You should be able to write the postulates of valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. But the most important aspect of this theory, how to predict the geometrical shapes of molecules with the help of valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. So with the help of valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, how we can predict geometrical shapes of molecules such as trigonal planar shape, tetrahedral shape, octahedral shape, etc. Valence bond theory and its concept. Forces of attraction and repulsion to explain bond formation, and the explanation of bond enthalpy using potential energy curve. Very important topic. In valence bond theory, orbital overlap concept is very important, and you should be able to sketch the overlapping of s orbital and sp and pp orbitals. And also you should be able to discuss the nature of resulting bonds and compare these overlapping of orbitals. Hybridization. Why we need the concept of hybridization and the features and conditions of hybridization. Very important topic. Different types of hybridization and the prediction of the geometry of the molecules using this hybridization. If s and p orbitals are involved in hybridization, 3 types of hybridizations are there: sp hybridization, sp2 hybridization, sp3 hybridization. You should be able to tell the geometry as well as give at least 1 or 2 examples of compounds which show this type of hybridization. Now, hybridization involving d orbitals. In those cases, there are mainly 4 types of hybridization: square planar dsp2, trigonal bipyramidal sp3d, square pyramidal sp3d2, and octahedral sp3d2 and d2 sp3. So these are the type of hybridization when d orbitals are being involved. Molecular orbital theory. Why we require molecular orbital theory to explain bonding in molecules and why this theory is superior to this theories such as valence bond theory. What are the salient features of this molecular orbital theory? Types of molecular orbitals formed from atomic orbitals through linear combinations of atomic orbitals. With the help of linear combination of atomic orbitals, how to differentiate bonding molecular orbitals and antibonding molecular orbitals, and the symbol associated with bonding and antibonding molecular orbitals. Are there any conditions for linear combinations of atomic orbitals or any other rule which obey or which requires for linear combination of atomic orbitals? The concept of molecular orbital energy diagram. These portions are very, very important in exam point of view. How to draw energy level diagram or molecular orbital diagram, very important topic. And from the molecular orbital diagram, how to calculate bond order and stability of simple molecules or species such as hydrogen, helium, Li2, oxygen molecule, etc. And you should be able to tell why some diatomic molecules doesn't exist. For example, helium. Why helium-2 or diatomic molecule of helium is not stable? Why diatomic molecule of carbon doesn't exist? You should be able to write the answer based on molecular orbital diagram. Last topic in this chapter is hydrogen bonding. You should be able to define hydrogen bonding. Also, you should be able to tell what is the reason behind the formation of hydrogen bonding. Two types of hydrogen bonding you should be able to differentiate: intermolecular hydrogen bond and intramolecular hydrogen bond. And you have to give examples for both these types. For example, hydrogen fluoride generally follows intermolecular hydrogen bonding, and orthonitrophenol, it follows or it shows intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Also, you should be able to tell what are the effects of hydrogen bonding in properties of compounds such as their solubility, reactivity, and physical states. Chapter 4. Questions are repeated in the topics of molecular orbital theory, drawing molecular orbital diagram, non-existence and existence of some diatomic molecules based on molecular orbital theory, calculation of bond order and stability based on molecular orbital theory. Postulates of valence shell electron pair repulsion theory and how to predict structures of small molecules regularly come in exams. Valence bond theory, hybridization concept and structure of molecules such as phosphorus pentachloride, very, very important portion. Dipole moment and the amount of dipole based on the structure of a compound. Fajan's rule regarding partial covalent bond character of an ionic compound. One more topic, that is hydrogen bonding, which is very, very important. Hydrogen bonding and the properties of few compounds due to hydrogen bonding present in them. These are the very important topics which comes under chapter 4.